You're making one right decision today. You're listening to Handcuffs and Sage.
Three badass moms bringing you all the true crime and paranormal your heart desires.
I'm Red.
I'm Timo.
I'm Dre. And don't let your kids listen. Seriously, just don't.
Hey, it's Handcuffs and Sage.
Hey. Woo!
This is Red.
Hi, this is Timo.
Hey, this is Dre.
Oh my goodness. I'm having my kava tea. I feel my throat calming down because I'm a professional. I'm getting ready. Are you guys also drinking kava tea? No?
I'm just drinking water.
I'm
in a really...
I love that cup.
Pretty.
Oh gosh, we're all talking at the same time.
I love it.
I'm drinking that I'm so addicted, you guys. And it's a good thing. I drink the Tazo, which is the brand, and then it's the Passion tea.
Yes.
And I make it into iced tea, but I don't like sweetened tea. So this tea is like really like bitter sour kind of. And I just love it. And I buy like 5 boxes at a time because I can probably get like 4 pitchers out of a box, and I go through like a pitcher like a day and a half.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You have an addiction. Your tea addiction has hurt my life in the following ways. I think tea is great. I'm addicted. We're all addicted. I love that cup. I have a cup kind of similar to that, Dre. And I always feel super fancy. I feel like a fancy bitch when I'm drinking out of it.
It's so shiny. So you guys, I woke up at 4:30 in the morning and I dragged Ricky's ass out of bed. Like, Starbucks, because it's November 6th.
Yes.
He was so mad at me. He was like, Mom, you're supposed to wake me up at 3. I'm like, I had to sleep in.
Oh,
so
my gosh.
The idea was to get like the pink, the white, and the burgundy. I think this is like disco ball is what it is, but we managed. We got them all.
I'm missing something. What's going on? There's like special.
This is like the most special cup that Starbucks has, and they sell out within minutes of opening.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. So it's super fancy. I love it. And if Juan washes it in the dishwasher, I might divorce him. I'm just kidding.
Don't touch my cup, Juan.
Is the straw all like blinged out too?
Yeah, it's kind of like a twirly.
It's so cute.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I know. So, I had to go to like 6 different Starbucks to get my pink one like that.
Yeah. So when I drink my water, I'm pretending that it's like champagne or something fun.
Yes.
Not water.
Water. Oh my gosh. I drink so much water. I'm in the bathroom all the time. All the time.
Your body should be starting to get used to it where you can hold more than you were before.
Ethan was a massive baby, so.
Oh, geez.
I don't know. I mean, I've been doing this for long enough, right, that my body shouldn't be like this, but it is. It's constant.
Weird. Okay. The tea, my tea that I drink is herbal, so it's not caffeine. So I think that counts as like water.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it counts as water.
Yeah.
I mean, in Weight Watchers and that kind of like realm, it did. So I'm sure it does like in, any other like diet. So
yeah, that's good. Do you drink water also?
I do, not like a couple bottles a day, but I drink, I don't know how many of these big. Now I'm just an effing mom. It said best effing mom, and the best fell off. So now I'm just an effing mom. So it's like one of the big things, like a 32 ouncer, and I drink like 3 of those or 4 of those a day. So
yep. Yeah, we have jugs. I got all the ladies jugs when we started doing the diet together, and it's actually more than what we're supposed to have a day. We're supposed to have 64 ounces of water a day, but I think that the jug holds like 73 or something.
That's good.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
Good. So I do have to tell you that my husband confiscated that from me.
Oh, that's
but it's okay, dude. It's okay because in turn I have this beautiful.
Yeah.
It's called compromise.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what marriage is all about.
Mhm.
It's also about fighting over if a certain scrubby should be left out or not. I think that when dishes aren't in the sink, this scrubby should be under the sink, right? Well,
Yeah.
my husband disagrees. He doesn't like having to reach for it when it's his turn to do the dishes.
Well, what is he like? He's gonna change his tune when he's like lost 15 pounds in 3 days or some shit like that. Fucking
That's so crazy.
Motherfucker. He started doing the diet that we've been doing, and in 3 days he lost 12 pounds. And I'm like, yay.
Fuck you.
It's all
Happy
water.
birthday.
It's all water.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
boys or men lose, like they can like stop drinking like 1 can of soda a day and they've lost like 50 pounds in a
It's
week.
not fair.
It's not
right,
fair.
man.
It's not
I know.
right.
And they have no cellulite. Their bodies are not made to hold cellulite. Like, what the fuck?
It's not
Mhm.
fair. It's not cool. Okay.
Right.
But I'm really proud of him. So
Like that.
I'm just gonna
For sure.
be supportive. Yay, you're doing
Yeah,
it.
you're doing it. At least,
Yay.
he's sticking with it and he's enjoying it, right? He's not like, oh
Yeah.
God,
Oh, he's a cranky little bitch right now. That's what he is.
fun. Oh, fun.
Every time he speaks, I'm
That's why-
ooh.
That's why they talked about the little scrubby. They're like, fucking scrubby.
That's why we had the discussion about the scrubby.
That's
So-
hilarious.
Yeah.
So
I mean, when you start
washing-
a diet, you're going to be crankky.
Of course.
You're going to be
Of
cranky.
course you
Yeah.
are. So talking about washing dishes, you guys, I'm so proud of myself since I'm a single mom. Me and my mom have a condo together. Shit, when you own a house, shit happens, like random fucking plumbing, whatever the fuck
Yes.
happens. So I've gone to YouTube quite a few times and I fixed my toilet, I fixed my shower. So I started using my dishwasher, which I hadn't used like in over a year. I know that sounds horrifying. I use it as like a second storage unit. But I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to start using my dishwasher. I just can't stand this. And there's other reasons. You guys know about the other reasons, but I won't get into those. So I ran it for the first time in an air gap. You guys know what an air gap is? Air gap is that little round thing that sits on top of your sink where the water can, like, if there's something wrong, the water spurts out into your sink.
Yes.
Well, I ran it and I like walked out and then I walked in and fucking my counter was just flooded. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? So first of all, it's not, whoever put it in didn't put it in right. So it's not aimed perfectly. So it will go onto the counter and not into the sink. So I guess if water comes out, it's because there is a clog in the hose that goes to the garbage disposal. And they have all these like special little tools like brushes and crap, like, like those bottle brushes when we would wash baby bottles. It's like a real long one. I watch this guy, he's like, just get like an old cable wire and cut it and then stick that in. And I did. I got the clog. I fixed it. Been using my dishwasher. Everything is all good, y'all.
Yes.
I guess how much it cost me. $0. Yes,
I love
$0.
I freaking love it.
I know.
You don't
I'm so
need
proud
a
of myself.
man.
I don't
do
need a
what
man.
you want.
Good job.
Okay.
Yep.
I will fix it myself.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Y'all, I am so excited about, I'm doing a whole special thing. It's crazy fun crime stories that happened on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And of course, some of them were in Florida because Florida keeps it real.
Love
I swear, I could have done all Florida, but I wanted to mix it up. Right?
I bet you could. Oh, Jesus.
Florida. I just dig it, man. I just dig it. So these are a bunch of just funny cookie stories that I found, and we're getting ready for Thanksgiving, the upcoming holiday. It's supposed to be a time with family and friends, but sometimes people are out there doing all sorts of weird shit. And that's what I dig about people. Okay. You never know what's going to happen.
Red. So real quick, I was downloading some of our last episodes to YouTube today, and I always have to kind of listen to see which one is which so that I make sure that I'm downloading the right one. And of course, I always fast forward to like the middle, because if I hear your story, I automatically know, okay, I know what episode this is. And today I clicked on it, and it was when you were talking about the guy that killed his family on Thanksgiving. And you're like, so he sat there like a weirdo. He didn't, oh no, you said he sat there like a creeper. He didn't eat like a weirdo. And I just started laughing like out of the blue. And everyone's like looking at me like, what the hell are you laughing at? I'm like,
yeah, this is comedy gold.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I should have done one of those clips for that. I have to start doing those again. They just got kind of like hard to do, and then the site went down and all this drama happened, but yeah, give me something funny this week, and then
okay. No pressure. All right, y'all, buckle up, let's do it. Ooh. Okay, so this poor guy, Jimmy Mulligan from Bridgeport, Connecticut, he's on his way to his friend's house to celebrate Thanksgiving dinner. Oh, okay. And then he gets robbed at gunpoint. The guy demands his turkey dinner, his stuffing, and his wallet that he had with him.
Oh, that
sucks. So Mulligan, he's so upset, right? He just got turkey robbed. He calls 911. Okay. I understand this. If someone messes with my dinner, I'm calling 911. Also, he calls 911, and the poor dispatcher, she thinks that this is a joke. She thinks it's a prank at first, right? Because this guy's like, I just got robbed. Somebody stole my turkey dinner and stuffing. Also my wallet, right? But the turkey dinner and stuffing. So after a while, the dispatcher realizes, oh my gosh, no, this is real. It's just this weird thing that happened to this poor guy on Thanksgiving. And she and her coworkers did this amazing thing. They went and they ordered a Thanksgiving dinner from Boston Market and had it delivered to his house for him.
So cute. So
if anything happens this year with your turkey or stuffing, you can call 911. They will be there for you. And I think that's great. I think that's awesome.
I'm like, Boston Market. Let me write that down.
Boston Market. Oh, speaking of Boston, let me take a moment. I watched Trial 4 on Netflix. Did you guys see that?
No. What?
Life changing. First of all, it takes place in Boston, and so everyone has an amazing accent, right?
Love it.
I love it. But it's about this guy, this innocent man that was sent to prison for 22 years, and all of the stuff that happened with it, the corruption in the police department. So it's just enthralling. It's just so interesting. He has this badass lawyer who I want to be best friends with. Her name is Rosemary Scapicchio. And it's just sickening knowing like all the things that go on right behind the scenes politically and with cops. And I thought it was fantastic. If anyone has a moment, check it out. It's Trial 4 on Netflix. I loved it. I might watch it again.
Cool. I'll check
excellent. It out. Yeah. And Boston accent. If something has a Boston accent.
Oh, come on.
The car.
I'm like Marky Mark.
Oh, Marky Mark.
Yeah.
Oh, Marky
anything to do with him.
Yeah, you guys can't see it right now, but I think Timo's drooling.
And his wife is so hot on top of it. It's like, you fuckers.
You hot people doing hot stuff all the time.
I know, fuckers. Okay. All right.
Okay. So the next story I have is about a family dispute. I don't know if it was over politics. We'll never know. But it was a family dispute with Shanika Alsup and her half-brother, Deontay Antonio Wallace. And they got into this heated argument, and it escalated. It escalated to the point where Alsup took the two-prong serving fork, right, that we all know that we use Thanksgiving Day. She takes this 2-prong serving fork and stabs him in the neck. Happy fucking Thanksgiving. This poor guy, right? She stabs him in the neck. He gets taken to the hospital immediately, so that's great. But she was charged with assault, of course, Thanksgiving Day, and her mugshot is her just going.
She's like,
oh man,
it really is just like, girl, what were you fighting
she's like
about?
Slouching, pouting. I got caught.
I just stabbed someone. Crazy. Okay, this one is insane. So buckle up, like seriously. A New York police officer, Gilberto Valle, was arrested in 2012 after his wife found some upsetting pictures on his computer. He revealed he had the desire to eat the flesh of a woman. That's what these pictures were. Like, at first I'm like, weird pictures, right? Porn or something. Nope, he's into flesh of ladies, of course. He then stated that he was going to cook and eat women for Thanksgiving dinner. Was he going to have the fam over and share? Do this on his own? Was his wife concerned? What lady was he going to eat? Right? So it's super grody. He actually served 21 months in prison until a judge is like, look, he didn't do anything. He was fantasizing, right? Which I think is a really great point. He didn't do anything criminal. He was just looking at shit. He was just saying, oh, this is my fantasy. We all have weird fantasies. Not this one. This one is a little extra. But he did want to eat the ladies for Thanksgiving dinner. And fun little side story here. After he was released from prison and he was living with his mother, his mom said she would make sure her son would have everything he desired. What?
Ew. Who's she gonna?
What does that mean, Mama? Some moms, I swear, they're like, my baby boy didn't do a gosh darn thing, and I will feed him lady flesh. Okay.
Ew.
So this one is kind of just silly, kind of ridiculous. A police officer pulled over a man on Thanksgiving Day for speeding. The man was driving this crazy car, a Mercedes G55 AMG, and it's worth $100,000. This is a crazy car. Okay. So he gets pulled over. The cop is kind of being a dick, right? Because he's about to give him a ticket. And he then asked the driver of the car, you know what, just for fun, can you put it in reverse and like rev that engine, right? Like, I kind of want to hear what this car can do, right? So the driver does it. He's just revving it. And there's a whole video. And the officer just loves it, just gets a kick out of this car. And then he takes the ticket and rips it up and he lets the driver go.
Nice.
Now, this is kind of a silly little story, but then it kind of ticked me off because I could get pulled over. My shitty ass car isn't going to do anything cool to get me out of shit. You know what I mean? I'm so happy when it turns on in the morning. It's not going to rev or anything. You know what I mean?
And you can't cry anymore.
Like, you want to hear this?
Yeah.
You want to hear this baby purr?
And you can't cry anymore, you guys, because that's been played out way too many times.
Oh, they'll know. Yeah. They'll know.
They're desensitized. Yeah.
Completely. Okay. Here's our next little ditty. Irene Mormon Bailey was loading her Thanksgiving groceries in her car when an assailant threw her down on the ground at a BP gas station in North Carolina. A bystander was horrified, runs over to help Irene, of course, grabs the frozen turkey that Bailey had just purchased and hit the assailant over the head with it.
Wow.
Nice.
The assailant Oh, ouch. The assailant, Fred Irvin, still took the car, took off, but officers were able to catch up with him. And when they found him, they said he was suffering from a serious head wound and took him to the hospital. But imagine like taking him into the ER and the ER doctor's like, frozen turkey. Yep. This is my third one today. Frozen turkey.
Things are like 20 pounds. You kidding me?
20-pound turkey. Oh my gosh. Okay. Here we go. So many frozen turkeys in these stories.
And they have the handle too, you know, like the little net handle.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
So it's like a perfect weapon. Yeah.
It's like putting a rock in a sock.
Like if we're in a situation where we have to choose a weapon to defend ourselves, I'm definitely picking a frozen turkey.
Frozen
turkey.
They
hands down.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanksgiving Day, 1997, Kathleen Corona was standing in a New York City street watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, right? We all know what that is. And there's a giant balloon coming through, and it's Cat in the Hat. And the balloon kind of gets out of control and it hits a metal lamppost. Okay. Uh-oh. Yeah. So just moments after she had handed her infant son to her husband, pieces from that lamppost fell and struck her in the head. Awful. Severely injuring her. She was in a coma for a month.
What?
From this. Yes. So she's there making memories with her family. I'm so glad that she didn't still have her infant son in her arms when this happened. And a Cat in a Hat balloon got out of control and this completely fucked her up. She ended up suing New York City for $395 million. Of course, right? Who's not gonna? Sure.
Yeah.
How did she figure out that amount? Well, you have to cover everything that the lawyers get. So I get it, right? You got to make it high, right? But they ended up settling for an undisclosed amount in 2001. I need to know how much she got. I need to know. I really do hope that she got enough to, of course, cover all of her medical bills and all that stuff, right? Awesome. In a coma for a month because of that. Aww. Okay. This is crazy, y'all. Okay. In November of 2004, Victoria Ruvalo was driving in her car when you guessed it, frozen turkey suddenly smashed through her windshield. What is with frozen turkey?
Oh my God.
I don't know, but it's funny.
Oh my God. This is awful though. This is really awful. So this frozen turkey flies through her windshield and breaks nearly every bone in her face.
Oh
yes.
No.
So she had to be put in a medically induced coma for a month. And she now has 3 titanium plates in her face, which is so awful. 5 teenagers who bought the 20-pound turkey with a stolen credit card were arrested. Ryan Cushing, who hurled the turkey out of the car he was riding in, was charged with first-degree assault, reckless endangerment, forgery, criminal mischief, and criminal possession of stolen property. So they were like throwing the book at this kid, right? But thanks to Victoria Ruvalo's insistence of a lenient sentence, Cushing got 6 months in jail and 5 years probation. So she's like very forgiving, right? This is a teenager. This teenager used something super dumb, right? And she really insisted that he got a lenient sentence. And she said, God gave me a second chance at life and I passed it on.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. Really, really. I hope he knows how lucky he is for her to step up like that after what she went through. For real. A 67, okay, so this is a Florida one, of course. So it's all
You're so funny.
Woo! A 67-year-old woman named Irene wore a giant turkey costume. She wore it to a Belk's. I don't know what a Belk's is, a store of some kind. I don't know what kind of store that is. To a Belk's in Lady Lake, Florida. Security surveillance caught her stuffing her costume with purses, jewelry, and a waffle maker.
Oh my gosh.
So of course she was caught, arrested in this giant turkey costume. And she later stated she was hoping she would get to wear the turkey costume to court.
What a weirdo. Okay.
Fell out of my chair. You guys. I'm sitting in a baby chair, guys. Okay.
For comfort. For comfort.
My ass already hurts.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
I'm over it.
Okay. So this is another fun Florida story. Kimberly Gable of St. Petersburg, Florida, was blackout drunk November 10th, 2018, when she stole a lobster from Red Lobster. She had grabbed the clawed crustacean when she was asked to leave the restaurant for disturbing customers. So she'd be drinking the margaritas, right? She's having all the margaritas. She starts talking shit to every customer coming into Red Lobster. They ask her to go, and she's like, I bet I'll fucking go, but I'm taking this goddamn lobster with me. So she grabs a lobster from the tank and takes a run for it, right?
Oh no.
She's apprehended, and of course they want to know what happened to the lobster, and she's like, I have no idea what happened to that lobster. I don't know where it is. Hopefully it got married, had kids, living the life somewhere, but she doesn't know where that lobster went, and just would say over and over again, she did nothing wrong. She just had a margarita day at Red Lobster. We've all been there. I mean, come on.
Oh my gosh. That totally sounds like something I would do. I don't know about stealing the lobster, but getting kicked out of Red Lobster for talking shit.
That's the next level, girl. Don't be a Karen. Jeez.
Well, I got kicked out of one of our little local wineries here with Miss
No!
Amy for calling a girl a see you next Tuesday right to her face.
Oh no, you didn't. Oh no.
Let me just tell you the story. It was not my fault. So it was one of those bathrooms where it's like you have to stand in line. There's like one toilet. So her and her girlfriend, I wanted to go in the toilet. Her little smart ass and her girlfriend run in front of me and are in there.
That is rude. That's rude.
I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're probably snoring coke. I don't know what they're doing, right? So I'm standing there with two of her guy friends are standing there. And I'm like, what are they doing? I'm like, I have to pee so bad, right? So the dude goes bang, 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 bang on the door, like really hard, right? And they come out, and this girl gives me a look like she was like, you fucking bitch, like da 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 da. And I'm like, first of all, it was your friend that did it, and don't da 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 da. And I'm like, you fucking
no.
And went back to the table, and then a few minutes later, here comes the bartender who happens to be her boyfriend, and he kicks me out.
Come on.
No.
So that's bullshit.
No, this is how Miss Amy stood up for me. She goes, well, if she's getting kicked out, she better get kicked out too, because she started it. And she did.
My gosh. You both got kicked out. You both have pictures up at the winery, like, do not let these bitches in.
Oh yeah, I've not been back because I'm afraid that they would be like, you're 86.
No.
There's only one way to find out, girl.
I know. It's been so long. It's been so long. That was the drunken night too, where Tim, Miss Amy's husband, picked us up, and he had taken all the boys to the movies, and I got in. He's like, "What happened?" There was all this other drama too, where I was like, I wanted to fight her outside, and Miss Amy's like, "You're gonna go to jail," and all this stuff, right?
I love how classy this is.
I
the
know,
whole
right?
thing is
I
so
know.
classy. Yeah.
And it's all downtown Newhall right there. You know, it was pretty fun. And then I get in. I go, "Tim." He's like, "What happened?" I go, "I almost cut a bitch." And I'm so drunk, I don't remember, right? And then I start crying in the front seat.
Oh no.
And then I'm telling my boys, "I love you guys so much."
Oh no.
And now they like screw with me. Even to this day, they screw with me. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
You said you loved us so much.
So there's Timo's 86ing from a classy winery.
So you and this chick Kimberly from Florida can hang out anytime.
Yeah. Fuck Red Lobster. I got kicked out of a winery. Hey.
Up your game, girl. Okay, so this is my last story. In 2014, Jacqueline Blake chased her boyfriend around their kitchen with a knife.
Yes.
After she discovered that he had been eating Thanksgiving dinner without her while she was sleeping off a long night of drinking. According to her boyfriend, she stabbed him at least once and then injured his left eye when she threw the knife at him. Oh my God. And let me tell you, her mugshot is
oh goodness.
She is so, one, you know, she's hungover, right? She was trying to sleep off a hangover. And two, she is pissed he ate that Thanksgiving dinner without her. She is pissed. So, like a cartoon, chased him around the kitchen, stabbed him a couple times, and was taken off to jail. And her mugshot really is just the best. This is her.
Oh.
And you know, he went and got her out. He brought her some Popeyes. He's like, "Look, I knew you were angry. I ate the turkey without you. Let's just make up, girl." Right? Lives happily ever after. Happy Thanksgiving. Yay. Crazy stories.
These are so good.
So fun.
Love it. Love, love, love.
All right. Are you guys bored yet with Skinwalker Ranch?
No. Each time we talk about it, it's like, ooh, what's gonna happen?
Okay, so we are still in episode 5, y'all. Only to 5. So we are continuing on with dangerous curves, and where we ended off was the GPR guy was pulling his little machine behind their UTV, and they were coming up with all these like domes, like weird dome shaped things
in the ground.
In the ground, right? And he said it looks like there's a base, and it looks like there's a top and a bottom with an empty center, almost like a tunnel, and then it like caps off at the ends. So you're like, in your imagination, you're like, what the fuck could this be? Like underground, right. Like what is going on? So when I had said that this was happening, they had split into 2 teams. So a few of the guys went with the guy with the GPR machine, and then a few of the other guys went with the guy named Zach that had the electronic one. It's called resisting, and where they stick the poles down into the ground, and then they like give electric shocks, and if it bounces off something, then they can tell something there. So they called them and said, "Dude, we just found some crazy shit. Head on over." So the whole team's now over at Homestead 2, and they're like telling them, like, look what we found. So Philip, who is the GPR guy, he's kind of like, showing them on the screen, like all these like dome shapes. And they're like, well, what could that be? And he's like, I don't know. They're smooth. They're not jagged. I have no idea what this could be. So Philip, the GPR guy, goes, I want to go like into, where the home, where these like rundown little shacky home things are. Like, he's like, I want to go take the machine in there and do a full reading in there and see if there's something in there as well, because where they're at is just along the road right in front of where all these houses are. So he pulls out that one machine that he was going to use in the beginning, and it's almost like those segways that you ride on, and then they have like a handle. It almost kind of looks like that you push, and it has like a full on like computer little like screen thing on it and whatever. So he pulls that out. That was the thing that was totally dead when he pulled it out over at command center. It's been charging. So now he's just kind of pushing that around all the homestead through like the tall grassy areas. And while he's doing that, the other little dude, Zach, and two of the other guys, they decide they're going to go up to the mesa. And so they climb up the mountain, and they're going to do some scanning up there on top of the mesa. So as they're going through the little grassy area, they're like, whoa, wait. And they see this full on triangular shaped thing. And it almost looks like an upside down funnel. So, you have your funnel, and then there's like it looks like an upside down funnel. So it's like a triangle with like an opening, like a little skinny opening that goes up to the ground. It's so weird, you guys. It's like, he's like, I have no idea.
Is it in like a hill? Is it?
No, it's like, underground.
It's underground.
Oh, it's underground.
Yes. Oh my God. Weird.
And they have no idea what that is. So there's
is it like a tube to Hollow Earth?
Maybe.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll check it out.
He said it was kind of like an opening, like to go down into something, like almost like, like a little like hatch tunnel or something to go down into something. So there's also a well on that site, and it was almost like parallel with the well. So they decided they want to go over to where the well is to see, what's going on. So of course, Travis and Jim Segala, they walk over to the well, and it's just like this like little cement square thing. And then there's a lid that's on top of it with like a little handle. So Jim goes, don't lift that up. And Travis is like, why? And he's like, well, this is where the incident happened with Brandon. It was right here, exactly where you're standing. So then they go to an interview with Brandon. So Brandon's going to tell the story of what happened. He's all, a few years ago, I had some visitors. I was escorting them on the site, and then we went over to Homestead 2. We got out of the UTV. We're all walking around, and then I looked and I noticed that one of the visitors was missing. So he went looking for him, and he actually found him out back. He was standing fully upright, but his eyes were closed. And as he yelled his name, his eyes kind of like fluttered open, and he goes, wow, that was strange. And Brandon's like, well, what do you mean? He's like, I was totally paralyzed. I fell asleep. How long have I been out? And he's like, wow, probably about 10 minutes. And he was just like, what the fuck just happened to me? So this dude knew he was paralyzed. He knew that he was asleep, but he's totally just standing there straight up, like with no help, like didn't fall down, didn't do it. And what happened was this dude had lifted the lid off the well to see what was in there. And that's when he had gone to the well, opened it, and then he disappeared. And that's what happened to him. So Jim is like, don't fucking open that, like, stop.
Oh my God.
They go back then to, Jim and Travis at the well. Of course, Travis kneels down next to it. He puts his hand on the handle, and Travis is like, now, Jim, what did that guy do again? And Jim's like freaking out. You can tell he's freaking out. And he's like, before you lift it or do anything, and then right when he says that, fucking Travis lifts up the fucking thing. And then Jim's like, or maybe not. Like, he's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I just told you, don't fucking do it, and you do it.
Travis is a naughty little kid.
Oh, Jesus. So you can see he's looking down into it. It's just the square well. You can see that there is water down in there. It's probably about 6 feet down. There's water in there. And he's like, it's filled with something. I don't know. And then Travis goes to Jim. if you want to look down in there, it's just crappy water or maybe some like septic tank or something. And then Jim kind of like looks down and he's like, yeah, it's like seriously polluted. So Travis closes it back up and then he's like, whoa, it stinks like that. Travis kind of like gets this look on his face and he goes, I don't know if I really want to say this or not, but I feel like I got a little bit of a headache happening. So why don't we just get out of here? Maybe the smell, maybe there's like mildew or mold going on down there, but let's go back out to the road where there's airflow. So something is happening to Travis, okay? Not only does he have a headache, but then he starts getting nauseated and he's like, let me check my dosimeter. Now the dosimeter thing is that it's like a little beeper and it tells you if you're in like radiation and how strong the radiation is. So both him and Jim were like, yeah, let's go look at it, because him and Jim were both looking over this well. Travis pulls it out of his pocket and it's freaking beeping, like outrageously beeping, right? And he's like, oh, it's beeping. So then they go to an interview with Travis and he's like, this is really scary. My dosimeter device is measuring 120 millirads per second, which is like 20,000 full body x-rays that you get at the airport. So, wow. When you go into those things and you have to stand like that.
Yeah.
His reading is 20,000 of those.
Wow.
You can only have 5 of those legally in a year. That is the law. So if you have 5 of those and you travel, and you get 5 of those, you have to let them know I can't have any more. I've capped off, because they are not allowed to do more than 5 times a year because of all the exposure that you have to the radiation. 20,000 of those is what he was reading. That is fucking bananas, you guys.
I would be terrified. I would be terrified to read that. So then what does he do? He stay away from people, right? Not expose other people to what he's been exposed to?
Well, no, he can't expose anybody to it, I don't think. But Jim's is reading the same amount. But his is not beeping, going off like there's something other that Travis had that Jim didn't have, but Jim got the exact same amount. He was exposed somehow.
All from this thing from the well. But right. We don't know what that is.
And they call it like ionic radiation. So I'm not exactly sure what that is, but I don't think it's like in like Sherwood, or what was that old show where she got like, they have to throw you into the shower and like scrub you with like Brillo pads and stuff like that.
Oh,
I don't think it's like that kind of radiation, but
I hope not, because that sounds crazy. Painful as fuck.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, Travis is like, we were just exposed to like real high levels of radiation. Duh, Travis. Jim goes, well, It's not a lethal dose, duh. But it's a dose that you're not really going to see out here in the middle of nowhere. So like Travis is like, it's high. And Jim's like, yeah, but where the fuck did this come from? Because we're out in the middle of, Utah, rural country. Like, where's this radiation coming from? So they're like, okay, let's get out of here. We need to leave. So then they go to another interview with Travis. And he's like, what happened out there really freaked me out. It really shook me up. But then the next day I noticed some weird red marks that appeared on my head and my hand. So I went to the hospital. My doctor confirmed that they were radiation burns.
No.
He's like, I'm okay now, but I really want to know the results of our GPA scans. Dude. And they show it. And I'm going to post some of the pictures, dude. He had like all these like lesions on his forehead and like right here on his hand. It's bananas, you guys. So crazy. Yeah.
That's frightening.
It is. And they're out in the middle of nowhere. And this was just like a little water well that the people that lived there long ago, that was their water. It's like, what is going on?
Like, how does he even get that now out of his system? Like, oh God, that's awful.
I know. Yeah. And he's like kind of freaked out about it, but just wait, see how he reacts to it. So 2 days later, they're all at command center and the guys are sitting there with Philip. Philip is a GPR guy. So he's going over the results. And he's like, let's concentrate on Homestead 2 because that's where all the stuff happened. So he's showing them the domes on the big screen. So I'm going to kind of show you guys what it kind of looks like. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so all those little half circles, that's what popped up. So basically that's what's underground, and that's what was bouncing off when they were pulling that machine. So Jim goes, they're like upside down hyperbolas. And Philip's like, yeah. And what creates these hyperbolas is objects. A lot of things can cause this. Boulders, but they're totally smooth. So I don't think that when you do GPR above tunnels, you can see, that kind of like thing, but we don't know if there's tunnels down there. And Travis is like, and he's like, I'll tell you what it looks like to me. So he gets up and he grabs a piece of paper and he pushes it up on the TV screen. And then he's like, here, Tom, help me out. So Tom's like holding up like 3 different sheets of like, just like your, notebook paper. And he's like drawing, he's tracing all the little domes. And then they go and they lay it out on the table, and he's doing dots like at each point of the domes. So he's, he's dotting. And then he's like, now I'm going to connect the dots. So he connects the dots and he's like, it looks like a football or like some type of saucer. And this thing is 1,000 feet long. Dude.
Damn.
UFO.
It's a UFO.
It's just waiting for the end of times. Well, it's here, bitch. It's going to come out of the ground any day.
Oh, so all the guys are like, it's like, dun, dun, dun. And they're all like looking at each other like, what the fuck? So then he says what it looks like. It looks like a 2-story facility. And it's 1,000 feet long. It's this oval shaped object, and it's buried under the ground. The same place that all the bizarre things keep on happening, and UFO sightings. Are they related? So they're like sitting there and they're all stunned. They're like, what the fuck did we find? Like, what is this? So Travis marks the highest point of the dome, and he's like, this is X marks the spot. It's about 15 feet below the surface. Then he brings up digging. He needs to drill down. He's like all excited, right?
They're going to drill down to this.
Right.
Oh my God.
So he's all getting excited about, the drilling, the digging. And then Dragon is sitting right next to him. He rolls his eyes. He shakes his head. And he's like, well, you're going to have to get Brandon to ride off on that. And Dragon, of course, is just talking about all the dangers. He's like, I'm curious too, but... And then Jim interrupts him. Jim Segala, he's a scientist. He's like, I'm curious to what your opinion is. What do you think? And he's pointing to Philip, the GPR guy. And then all of a sudden, Dragon, like a little junior high school girl, gets all butthurt and goes, oh, so I don't have an opinion, Jim?
Oh no.
And gives him a dirty look. And then Jim kind of looks at him and he's like, okay. The only thing that this fucking Philip says is it's definitely an anomaly. And gee, thanks for your opinion. So then Dragon is like even more pissed, right? He's like, Jim interrupted me. Jim wanted this fucking guy's opinion. I didn't get my opinion, and that's his fucking opinion. So Dragon then goes, I guess since I don't have a PhD, I don't have a fucking opinion at this table.
Oh no.
So you're just going to have to take this to Brandon.
Oh, Dragon's having his first period.
So everybody
exciting.
Everybody just gets quiet. It's like total crickets. Nobody, like, everyone's like, we don't know what to do. They're like sitting here like,
Taco,
shit,
taco.
Right?
They're like, do you want some ice cream, Dragon? Want some ice cream?
And then Dragon calms down and he realizes, oh shit, I'm on TV having a, freaking hissy fit.
He goes,
he's like,
edit.
I know, right. He's like, look, I care about you guys. If I didn't care, I'd be like, fine, I'll be out at the front gate while you guys do all your digging. He's like, I'm sorry I blew up like that, but I don't want to poke a hornet's nest that's filled with radioactive hornets.
Oh my God.
I'm just stabbing you in the side there, Travis. So they all thank Philip. They said, we appreciate blah, 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 blah. And then they all agree that they need to call Brandon immediately. So they go back. They're at Travis's RV now. So Travis and Dragon, just Travis and Dragon, are in Travis's RV, and they're sitting at that little RV table, and they have their phone out, and they call Brandon. So Brandon says, hey guys, what's up? How's it going? Da, da, da. And then Dragon says, we found a lot of things, some that cause me pause and has me really concerned, but I'm going to let Travis explain that to you. Because he's like, fuck this. I don't want to like deal with this. So Travis explains everything that they found, like what happened. And Brandon is like, wow. Like, he's like fucking shocked. Like, he's like, dude, my money is going to this, and look what we possibly found. So then Dragon's like, and the not so good news is Travis and Dr. Sagala, because he's still butthurt at Jim, so now he's calling him Dr. Sagala. He's not calling him Jim anymore.
He's not Jim anymore. He's got PhD.
I know, okay? Right? He's like, they were exposed to toxic radiation. So like, Dragon's like, yeah, listen to this, dude. So Brandon's like, what? And then Travis is like, yeah, my doctor checked me out, I'm all right. And then Brandon's like, I don't know if you could hear yourselves right now. You just told me that the GPR found a football-shaped object in tandem with that we have some type of radiation out there. This sounds serious as hell to me. And then Dragon has this like look on his face, like, ooh, yeah.
I was right.
And he's like, look, this is your property. I'm going to defer to you because you're the boss. How do you feel about this? Brandon's like, no way are we to proceed with any major activity on the ranch without making sure we properly assess the risks. Whew, that was a tongue twister.
Why don't they wear like radiation suits the entire time they're there?
Right.
Because radiation seems to be a real issue.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Well, they have those meters, and it doesn't happen.
Yeah, just to tell them that they got the radiation.
You're fucked. Right? That's what they're saying. You're already fucked. Just letting you know.
You're fucked. That's what.
But you know what?
The monitor is.
Especially Travis, but the other guys too, I think, and Tom a little bit too, because Tom kept on digging even though he had that whole head injury thing. I think they're like willing to put their lives at risk because they're so close to maybe finding.
That's so ridiculous though.
I
like
know.
They spend all this money on all this equipment, right?
Mm-hmm,
like there's no end to it, but they can't wear something that's going to protect them.
I know.
Weird.
Okay, so they're still on the phone with Brandon, and then Travis explains to him, this is not going to be like a major excavation thing. It's just going to be a small diameter drill that just digs down, takes samples. And what we want to do is we want to take these safety measures where we go down 2 feet, check what we pull up, radiation, whatever. And if we're cool, then we'll go down another 2 feet, and we'll do that. And as soon as we hit something that's like crazy, we'll stop.
And they were saying that the top of it is about 15 feet, right?
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Right. So Brandon's like, okay. With that being said, I would say with extreme caution, move swiftly to find out what we're dealing with. And Dragon is just like fucking disgusted. He's so mad. He's like, this fucking guy's winning. Like, he's so mad. And he's like kind of like biting his lip. Like you could tell he's probably like clenching his fist under the table. He's probably like so mad. And then Brandon goes, you know, and I'm sorry, Dragon. I feel like I'm going to put you in a real awkward situation, but I want you to make sure that all the proper precautions and measures are taken to protect those that are involved. And
did Dragon say, let's get radiation suits?
no, he doesn't. But he's like, you could tell he's just like, motherfucker, like this is my job and I knew it. And now I'm going to have to be there and fucking watch these idiots do what they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So then Brandon has like kind of like a little interview and he's kind of like, you know, recapping on some stuff that he's talked about in, you know, other episodes. And then he's like, well, let's see what lies beneath. Keep me posted. And that's where I'm ending right now.
Mm-hmm. Craziness.
Yeah, and I have watched ahead and I so know what's like happening next. And I can't wait to share it with you guys.
Is it a UFO? You ruined it. I knew it.
Maybe.
Wormhole.
She's never going to tell us.
It's a wormhole.
It is a fun one. Ooh, good job, Team Mo. All right. Are you ready for
Badass story of the week?
Woo! Give us a badassness, girl.
All right, guys. So I heard a really cool badass story. Actually, I read about it on one of the mom sites here in SCV, and I wanted to bring it to light just because things are so crazy right now. People are like arguing with family members, and it's really nice to see that they still have a good heart, right?
Yes.
So there was a lady at Costco, and she had her kids in the car with her, and the woman on the side of the car next to her kept watching her. You know, she was like loading up her car. She thought maybe she doesn't want to get out until she's done. She wasn't quite sure what was going on, but the woman just kept staring at her. And so she loaded up her car with her groceries, strapped her kids into the car. And, you know, as she's walking around to get to her car, the lady's like, I'm sorry, I have to stop you. She's like, I have this like nagging feeling, like tugging at my heart. And I just have to tell you, please just get your windshield repaired. And then she proceeds to hand her $100 bill.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
How crazy is that?
So she felt like, okay, something might happen with the windshield and she wanted to help her. She gave her the money for it. Like that's how she felt about it.
Right.
Yeah. I just got goosebumps. Right?
$100 bill, right? My goodness. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's more than $100 to get your windshield replaced, but whoa, right? So super, super sweet. And then I was thinking like, people are doing really great things during COVID, you know, and people are really strapped for hard times or having a very difficult time in life in general because of everything that's going on. So as I was looking for my badass story, this one popped up and I was like, well, that's super badass. But I wanted to also bring to light something else that happened in England. There was a man by the name of Sam Smith, and he's a single father. He has 2 little boys by the name of Lysander and Zendul.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Isn't that cool? Lysander.
Lysander? And what's the other one?
And Zendul.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Cool, man.
Cool names. All right. So they told their story on the BBC News Breakfast, right? The BBC News does like a little segment about, you know, how things are going during the pandemic. And so they told their story. And this gentleman by the name of Ken had seen the story and felt so bad because basically Sam and his kids have been in lockdown all this time in like a 15-story flat. He said it's like they take 13 steps one way and 8 steps another. And it's like they're pretty much indoors 23 hours a day. These 2 kids, 6 and 3 years old. Can you imagine? I think like I would go freaking bananas.
That's a nightmare.
So Ken remembered living in a flat and having like little space and, you know, their parks are closed. So he reached out to Sam and offered him his vacation home on the beach for a week.
Oh, that's so nice.
So yes, for a whole week. So they got to like, you know, run their little hearts out for a week and enjoy their time on the beach. such a beautiful story. So people are so good out there, and just keep doing all these good deeds. If you have it within your means and within your heart, by all means, just keep it up, because people need it. We all
it's
need
little
it.
things. It's all little things. It really is. It adds up. That's a good badass. That's two badasses.
Yes.
So much badassness, so little time. It's in the hard times that you see the helpers, right? Look for the helpers always.
Always.
Yes,
always.
yes. Good job, Dre. Good job. Yay! Woo! So check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Did I do it? Did I remember? Okay, good.
Oh, you do.
We have our website. It's handcuffsandsagepodcast.com. You can always email us at handcuffsandsage@gmail.com. We have our Patreon page, and we have different levels. So if you sign up for a Patreon level, you get different things from us. So, it just helps out our podcast, support your favorite ladies. What, Timo?
Yes.
So everyone knows we record on Zoom, and all of a sudden Timo gone. Don't see your head.
Disappeared.
Did I forget anything? I always feel like I do every time.
You did great.
No?
Yeah.
We all good? Okay.
Yeah, good.
All good, y'all. Okay, here we go. And remember, we do what we want. All day, every day. I will put that scrubby underneath the sink. I will
do it.
Do it.
Hey, we might end up stabbing each other at Thanksgiving.
Oh, shit. Hide the prongs.
I know.
All right. Bye, y'all. Have a good week.
All right.
Bye. See ya. Handcuffs and Sage is hosted by Red, Timo, and Dre in a shitty guest room in Los Angeles.
Theme music is Leave Now by We Are Wasted. Cover art done by Megan Winchester.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Show us some love on iTunes. Be a badass and do what you want. Until next time.